Alright folks, welcome back to another video with me, DoctorBenjyFM. It's AFC Thames, and it's do it better, AFC Thames. How do we get through this summer and make life easier? And you can see we start here on the affiliate screen with Leyton Orient. Thank you for all your suggestions, by the way. There were some really good ones, including affiliate clubs, right? And people were saying you should negotiate with Luton. I should have probably mentioned yesterday, we are no longer affiliated with Luton, which is a bit annoying, but we are affiliated with Leyton Orient, and we do get players on a free or loans on a free. The problem we have, of course there's a problem, viewers. Why wouldn't there be a problem? Let's have Matt Clark as our example. A decent player, good tackling, decent physically, very solid mentally, lots of sort of tens in there and above. So we'll try and loan him from Leyton Orient. Of course we will. Leyton Orient would prefer Matt Clark would play with high quality players. I'm in the National League, so that's a problem. And then the players that are in sort of their under 23s that are eligible for loan, like so Danny Brown. Would you sign Danny Brown? I don't. Well, at this point, maybe I would. I don't know, but he's not all that, and that goes for a lot of the other players at this level. Gary Hardy. Would you sign Gary Hardy on loan? Maybe. Probably not. That's the situation we're in. But you may have noticed we are on the 9th of August. We're nowhere near the start of the season. Hell no, not even close. Not even played a friendly yet, viewers. I'm going to have to arrange a few more as well. I've sort of got them up to... Actually, well, we've got some friendly proposals out. Maybe they haven't been accepted yet. So I thought, oh yeah, I've planned this. I have planned this. All right, well, hopefully they get accepted on their next continue. But I thought I'd get to here about a month gone from where we were before. Before I show you who we brought in, I'm going to show you two players that I nearly brought in. Oh, this is going to annoy you. All right, the first was Adam French, who I thought if we get Adam French, we are living the dream, viewers. He would have been a sensational signing for us. Probably going to play at left back. Crossing and dribbling weren't that good, but I thought defensively, really, really strong. Good leadership as well, decent bravery, decent physically. There was lots to like about him. Released from Norwich, but no, he rejected us. I went to be a fringe player at Plymouth on about 3 times the money, so you can't really blame him. The next one... Oh, this one hurts. Now, this is the sort of player that I felt like if we got Elvis Teta, we would have been set for a while. This is the kind of guy I needed, but would rather go to Tranmere as a fringe player. The 18-year-old Ghanaian, that was going to be our guy, I felt like. But, yeah, it just hasn't happened, and we've not signed him. That said... As mentioned, so they're the quality of players I thought we were going to get. Obviously, the quality of players we do actually have is a problem. We're now £105 over the wage budget available. The money that we've got in the bank is getting, well, ever worse. And yeah, as I say, we've brought in some players to try and help us just a little bit this season. 3 loans. Now, we've finally... decided let's just get loans in because we might as well. It's a cheaper option normally. Let's see if it makes it as any better going forward this season. The first then, Nathan Burns. I can see you're excited. You can see exactly why I've bought him. There's one reason and one reason only. He's got 17 acceleration off the mark, getting in behind defenders. That's all I really cared about. The 13 work rate was a real plus point as well, though, of course. We're trying to play this sort of pressing style. I think with his aggression and his work rate and his speed, he can definitely do that for us. So, yeah, pretty happy. He's got some really nice player traits as well for the role that we've given him. The 25-year-old Welshman, Nathan Burns, welcome. He will be my Jeff Thomas. Next up was a lone player. It was Dale Brock. And again, pretty happy. The mentals on Dale Brock really quite good. The passing, a little bit questionable. Can play in the centre of midfield. Can play slightly further forward as well. There's a few issues here. He's 5'5" from Carnarvon. Not a place I've heard of, but I think a decent enough player to bring in on loan. This is very good for us. This is the level. Adam Dixon up next, a free transfer Irishman. Again, you can see what I've sort of gone with here. The work rate was the most important thing for me. 14 work rate, decent passing, decent technique, little slow with the acceleration and the pace, but I think that's got enough going on. The composure and decision making at this level should stand us in real good stead. So Adam Dixon joins as well. He has been all over the place. Taking a bit of a step up here. We got to this level of football we've filed before, but never really played. But was pretty good in the divisions just below. I think he's got the right attributes, what we need. So that was the key thing for me. As we move forward to Matthew Hartsliff, I think that's how you'd say it. A very similar situation. Very good central midfielder, 15 work rate. You can see these two were signed at a very similar period of time. 2 Irishmen on loan from Boreham Wood. some questionable mentals in the middle section. But yeah, really good work rate, decent tackling, a bit more of a ball winner, left-sided, and yeah, I can see him being a regular fixture in the side when we need a player like this to play. The final player is Danny Buckingham, who again has been brought in for 2 reasons. He's really quick and has got decent work rate, so we'll play on that left-hand side for him. He could play him behind as well, but hasn't really got the passing. I'm of course worried about the crossing and the dribbling. You can't do either of them, but it's the work rate, it's the teamwork, it's the acceleration and speed. I'm sort of relying on that and hoping the rest of it kind of takes care of itself. So looking at the team as it is now, and they're still on holiday, they get a very, very, very long holiday in this division. We've got Ferry in goal so far that we're pretty happy with, not too bad at all. Ings over on the right hand side, again physically pretty good, but going forward a little bit questionable. Scott will be part of a back 2 partnership with Leddy. Again, it's not fantastic, but it's okay. You now realise why Adam French not signing for us is painful. Heel so far at left back, it's a little bit, it's close, isn't it? He's got decent tackling, decent marking, crossing of 9 is pretty good. Like we talked about that low knee option before. It's not too bad. Brown and Dixon at the moment in the midfield. I don't know if this is the right balance, really. I think maybe only one of them should play, and maybe alongside Hartsliffe, who could play as that sort of ball winner next to them. So again, something and an option for us to maybe go through. Burns on the right-hand side, who we talked about, so much pace. Excited to see how he does. Brock will be behind Olkanainen. And look, this is going to be partially one of the main parts of our entire system. He doesn't have the work rate, doesn't have the aggression, but he does have the speed and he does have the finishing. And with his season last year, 18 goals in 25, we've got a chance. So we're going to play this gegenpress style. And of course, we are constantly on the lookout for new players. Loads of different ideas coming in of like shortlisting certain players to enable us to see if they're interested in things like this. But again, it's this sort of situation where I've scoured a lot of players, and the ones that are good, so if you keep an eye on the green there, as soon as you ask if they're interested or not, they are very rarely interested. And Philip Milligan, who would be a really good central midfield option, I think we can all agree would be really, really good, unless something has changed. He wants to be a star player. He'd love to come and play for us. I can make him an important player, which I don't know if that'll lower his wage demands. A star player might make him slightly happier. What's 750 quid? We can offer him £300 right now, and that is the max we can offer anybody, so we know that he won't be joining. One of the best suggestions we had, and it's a thought that's gone through our minds for about 5 years now, is do I simply find a way to run this club into the ground to either force one of two things, administration or a takeover, because Football Manager tends to try and bail you out. You can't technically go into administration in Football Manager when you manage them. It's very difficult to do. You'll ordinarily be taken over at a point of like, well, you're going to destroy yourself from within here. We of course have no money. We are in this situation now. It's not going to change. A few people saying we shouldn't use the scouting budget, but then on my side, it's like, well, I'm getting quite a good pool of players that we could maybe scout from already without having to go out and look for them all individually. I put a GIF on Twitter which was basically my attempt to trial people. I don't think we'll catch it quite. I sent trial offers out to about 250 players. One said yes, and he wasn't good. He was a backup goalkeeper that I didn't really need. So in terms of bringing free transfers in, we still have that problem. Of course, one thing we will focus on, and I will try and keep a very sharp eye on, is that when players go out on free transfers and are given a free transfer, it then comes a point of, well, I do want a club. I don't have a club. I will lower my expectations of which club I think I should be at. And eventually, hopefully, we will be in that situation. Of course, just to remind you, so we started Thames as the most average side in Tier 8, right? When we started in the level of Tier 8, we were the most average team going. We finished 3rd in our first season, 9th in our second, and then got promoted, right? And while this has been going on, our reputation has grown that much, hardly at all, right? So we are really struggling to bring anybody in, and the professional status also isn't helping at all. In previous years, I have had like 3 or 4, even 5 takeovers before we even hit the League 2. I think the situation here is just trying to find a style. This is what we're going with now. This is why we're going about this the way we are. Is to try and find a style that fits this team to the point where they will be successful, right? So, and that is going to be a continual problem for me, because so far we've never done that. So I'm trying to get these guys to buy in to a system that I've never done before, that I don't think will be successful. This is sort of what my life exists of. Players that get suggested or come up in here, and then we're just like, yeah, are they good? Yeah, can I get them? No. again, keeping an eye on lots of this sort of thing. I like searching by things like agility, but again, these are lone players that whether they would massively improve us or not, I don't know. I mean, this guy at Swindon can play right midfield and left wing back. It's such a bizarre combination. Again, getting players on loan from maybe someone like Leyton Orient might be a way forward. If you look at the players that are listed in terms of value, lots of them come from Luton, where I think a lot of you thought that our affiliate was still there because of this situation. It's why that when we go to Luton and ask for players on loan, we don't get them on a free transfer. I know what you're thinking, Ben. Have you thought about applying for another affiliate? Yes. I asked the board. I'm trying to find it. I asked the board. They went, yeah, we'll find you one, and then couldn't find us one. So that was really helpful. Some other methods that I'll just clarify that I have tried, of course, that didn't get. I went through all the National League sides, offered all the players that were released from all those national team sides trials. None of them said yes. We could do the same thing with League 2. My only worry with that, if I can find League 2, my only worry with doing that is that if they won't accept it from the National League, is there any point doing it at this level either? I suspect probably not. But this is the sort of thing that we should probably be doing in a few months' time when these players have lowered their expectations. Friendlies, again, lots of you sort of admitting, yes, you can't get good friendlies because of the situation that we're in this specific division. When we're in League 2, the irony will be we will be able to do this, and that'll probably be at a point where we are professional. We've got the money to do it. Our stadium is increasing its capacity. In terms of how many people are watching games and coming to games, it's way below what it could be, and increasing that again, very difficult. We could have 5,000 come and sit with us. I don't think we're even close to that now. We're just about breaking 2,000 now and again, and it's arguably because of the lack of playoff games. It's actually going down very slowly in the National League. So we need to find a way to get out of this. Of course, we're still in this season preview situation, 350 to 1. This video is very much an update of what's going on. We'll continue a few days though. We'll see if Football Manager allows the game to continue without me desyncing all over the place when recording on OBS. If you're a Football Manager creator, you know the struggle sometimes. That's the life we lead right now. I've brought in some players that I think will improve us slightly. Our squad depth is probably still a little bit too much, but I'm focusing on having a squad full of players that potentially aren't signed with us to save us money. Having a budget of 5,000, we'll talk about this next episode. We'll go through and compare ourselves at the start of the season to how much we're spending, to how much other sides are spending. We are not spending on it. We're spending, what would it be, around 250 at a push, 1,000 a week. So it's not ideal. We've got this guy, Ronaldo Gibson, we talked about a few times, going through at left back. Not particularly quick, decent mentals, 17 years of age, in the first 11, or in the first team at this point, it should be said. As players keep coming in, Paul Carr is trying his best to bring me players. Some of them are decent, some of them are not. I mean, he's a decent, funny right, he's a left back who's an inverted left back. He's loan listed, 350 quid. Can I play I mean, yeah, of course I can. Why would I not try and play? They want him to play with a higher quality of player. There it is, Gavin Arnold. I mean, we're here again. No, probably not. I mean, okay, but not. Is he a huge amount better than what we already have? Again, we'll try. Even AFC Wimbledon would rather he played with high quality players. In terms of asking the board for anything, let's see, affiliate asked for, then cancelled because they couldn't find me one. One thing I did manage to get rid of at the very start of the season was defensive football. I got rid of. We don't have to play defensively solid football anymore. Facilities, I've been able to improve none of them since we started at Thames. Finances, I can't increase anything for obvious reasons. If I ask for professional status, they will absolutely say no. I can't improve youth recruitment because of the costs involved. I can't go on a coaching course because of the cost involved. Stadium, you've got to be joking. That ain't happening. And staff, again, we can't afford to take on more wages, so that isn't happening either. In terms of what our contracts look like, we're slightly lower than we were before. Of course, we don't have Duckworth on 900 quid anymore, so that does help a little bit. But as you can see, we are currently breaking the bank with our spending. Mad, isn't it? Right then, a little update. I thought I'd just keep you abreast of all things that are going on. I said this summer we're going through a little bit more in depth. Again, your suggestions are welcome. I am reading through them. It's funny, right? I'm looking through a lot of them. Someone said, have you tried getting a senior affiliate? Yes, I have. Shortlisting every player released in the UK. It's a good idea, and it's been suggested by a few people. Even Foxy, of course, another creator said, have you tried shortlisting and then looking at the players interested? there are so few players interested that it's not a thing. Have you tried getting a team report from divisions or 2 above? Yes. Then the players they give me are rubbish, and to the point where they're worse than the players I have. I know. Imagine being in that scenario. Yeah, Somerset says just gamble, play youngsters for a bit. I think, look, the situation is this, gang. If you're prepared to watch this struggle, I am prepared to fight through the struggle. I think the best thing for both of us is that while I know that I'm in this situation, and my fear is I'll be here forever, but while I'm in this situation, is that I will go through seasons slightly quicker, right? You won't get to know the players quite so much, but at the same time, we will progress. And I think that's more, or progress, that's more important at this stage, I feel like. So I will play through potentially the start of the season, try and get a little bit into it, see how we're getting on. And then as soon as we find a season where we are competitive and we are battling at the top of the table, or at least fighting for the playoffs, that's when we include ourselves into it a little bit more. But of course, we'll still do like 3 or 4 updates per season no matter what happens. So you'll still be able to keep abreast of all things Thames. Keep the suggestions coming. I feel like I need you all on the staff list right now. I feel like this is a little corner of YouTube that we're in together. We're definitely sort of like that at the moment, hiding from everyone outside, going, don't look too closely because it's not impressive. But there we are then. We'll carry on. I'll keep battling. Hopefully the next time we meet, I'll have some more players to bring you. This was an update of some of the things I've tried, some of the suggestions I've taken on. And yeah, you're right. Top comment from yesterday. The fact that money left is quite ironic. In a bit. Oh dear. I should say very quickly then, if you're going to leave the video, leave with a like. So I'll see you soon. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for the support. Jesus wept. Not even Z could save this. Oh, maybe I should ask him.